Right, to start with, get the wheel nuts loosened off before we jack it up, and then we'll get the wheels off. Right, last one off, and get that removed. Right, need to get the brake drum off. There's two holes which are threaded for an M8 bolt. I can't find one, but I have managed to find one of these which I'll use instead. Just thread that in. It will push against the hub and start to force the drum away. I have to do that with both, and that'll come off. There we go. That one looks absolutely fine. Well, which is a lot better than the one on the other side, which is the one that's had the oil seal go, which has prompted this in the first place. Well, I think it's fairly safe to say they need changing. There's just oil all inside the wheel, all inside the brake hub, the drum. It's all over the pads. It's managed to spray all inside, which is rust proofing, I suppose. So yeah, we'll look at getting this to bits and get it cleaned and get it sorted. Right, we're just going to put some penetrating fluid on these bolts. Just so we don't snap anything, hopefully. We'll do the two on the other side of that, and obviously we'll do the other wheel as well. Just so you can see what bolts we're looking at. So that one's there. Just a little tip: if you get the nut stuck in your socket, find yourself a bolt that fits. And just work it until the bolt comes out, and it's easy enough to take off there. While I'm on with this as well, taking the bolts off the back plate, make sure you use, see if I can clean that a little, a proper socket. Don't use one that's got multi-edges, because that seems to slip, whereas that gets a much better grip and they do come off a lot easier. Right, we've used some grips to clamp the brake line. So 11mm spanner. I'm just going to crack off that one there, and on that side there's 2 to do. So we'll just make a start on this one and get the brake lines disconnected. Right, that's the brake pipes disconnected. Looks to be clamped okay on the brake pipe because there's very minimal fluid loss, so that's good to go. Next we'll look at taking the handbrake cable off. So I'll work that out and I'll show you. Right, we're going to look at removing the bigger spring first, kind of that one there. So that's going to be the hardest one to remove. So as it clips around that corner, that's the bit we're going to try and prise off with a set of pliers. I've put cardboard over the brake shoe because I'm reusing these shoes. You'll be able to squeeze that, and eventually, if you get the right angle, it will pop off. Next one to look at is that one there. So all we're going to do is just get a hook and just lift that off. There we go. And then we've got the final spring at the bottom. Which evidently I need 2 hands for. Then we need to remove these retaining clips. There's one there. Can't see it, there we are, and one there. All we need to do is compress this little clip, get some pliers and just turn that little bit there. There we go, that's one. Let's pop it through. You can grab it from the other side. Just take that in. Right, when you finally manhandled them off, just turn around that one. And you can see there the handbrake cable. All you need to do is take this bit here and slide it out of the runner. Right, the only way I can find to get the handbrake cable off the back plate is to force a 12mm ring spanner on to compress, so you can then start to wiggle it out. So I'll just spend the next 3 hours doing this. Using just the wheel to get the half shaft out didn't work, so we've borrowed a slide hammer. First time I've used one of these, so we'll give it a go. And there we go. And let's have a look at how we get this off. Oh, that bearing's absolutely cooked. Ow. Right, let's see if we can get the light in there. No, not really. Oh, there we are. Yeah, bit of brown sludge. I think that's a bit of bearing sitting there. And that looks absolutely cactus. So we'll get a kit ordered and I'll send that away to get that fitted. It's not something I can do. Right, we'll look at taking the oil seal out. So I'll just grab behind it. And I thought you'd just pull, but maybe not. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. Well, at least I know the oil seal was in well. Better have another look at that. Right, the method for removal is correct. It just takes a bit more force than you'd originally think, so stick with it, persevere, and it will come out. Right, made sure it's all clean inside there. When I took the old oil seal out, that bit was missing, so got one directly from Suzuki, only 5 or 6 quid. Just pop that in. That's an oil seal protector. Right, put that back in. Make sure the flat surface is on the outside. Got one of these off eBay. various sizes. I'm using a 59mm one for this. And that's gone in nicely. Just need to give it a little bit more just to seat it, and then we'll have a look at the next bit. Right, we've got the new ABS ring and bearing fitted panel local garage. I've just put a smear of oil around the oil seal just to aid it going in. So now all we should need to do is just slide the shaft back in place. Just need to adjust it a little bit, just build it round to get the splines to engage into the diff, and hopefully now we should be able to just tap it back into place. Make sure everything's going to fit. Might just need to get a bit of wood and a hammer just to help that go in. Right, little note, rear wheel bearing. One side is flat, the other has a little spacer. The spacer must go to the back plate. The flat side butts up against the ABS ring. If that is not pointing to the outside against the back plate, when you fit it, which I did, the wheel will not turn. Well, this really doesn't seem to want to go back on. It's taking some doing.